I want to tell you an unbelievable story, one of my favorite stories. It was not only in Vilna, all over in Hungary also was the same thing. Some Sofer was mamish learning, and the Holy Zans was the same time, and he was also learning the greatest, but davening, Some Sofer, the Sofer says, when I'm learning, that I don't know there's such a thing as davening, or when I daven, I don't know there's such a thing as learning. But anyway, one of the greatest pupils of the Ksav Sofer, the son of Ksav Sofer, just really, we wish we'd have privilege to see it in Pressburg in Hungary, and the yeshiva, let's say hundreds of the way on Shabbos, everybody was in the yeshiva at 3 o'clock, Friday afternoon, all washed and combed and ready. Then you learn for 6 hours, and you daven, and you eat, and you learn again all night. The next morning, you wake up, you daven, you eat a little bit, and you learn all day. Shabbos was Keval learning. So one day, the Ksav Sofer says to his greatest pupil, who later on became one of the biggest sons of Chassidim, he says, if you really want to taste Shabbos, you have to go to Zans. So he assumed, if in Pressburg you learn 100 hours over Shabbos, it was probably in Zans you learn 1,000 hours. And he was only 17 years old. So he comes to Zans and he was ready, learn like crazy. He was going on in Zans before Shabbos, thousands of Chassidim. This one wants to the mikveh, this one looks for a kretschmer, this one doesn't know where his pants are, this one can't find his talis, this one, I don't know, I didn't say hello to the Sunday yet. I'm the chaos,
We know.
Okay, finally, everything settles down, the Sunday comes into daven. Davening is gewalt, but he's thinking, gewalt, when are we going to learn of it? Okay, the davening is gewalt, but he was not so turned on to it yet. And then, Baruch Shem, between davening and eating, there's a little intermission. Everybody sits down. Baruch Shem, it sees all those hundreds of Chassidim. Everybody takes out the Gemara, and by the table, he begins to learn. So he looks around. The Gemaras are lying on the table, and nobody opens the books. Everybody's sitting so sad. This is crazy, They must be all lunatics. And then suddenly, one of them takes the Gemara on his shoulder to his heart. Heilige Shabbos, Heilige Shabbos, Heilige Shabbos. And in another corner, someone begins yelling, Zis is Shabbos, Zis is Shabbos. And before he knows, all those hundreds of people are standing up, and Mama is holding up the Gemara and yelling, Heilige Shabbos. And he didn't know what happened to him. Suddenly, the spirit moved in beyond his senses of normality. Mama, she got on this, Heilige Shabbos. This is Shabbos. He can't figure out what happened to him, but he's with it.
He's born again.
Anyway, so later on, the Holy Zans, inside, he couldn't know what's going on there. So later on, the Holy Zans came in to make Kiddush, everybody's washing, and he managed to stand behind the Holy Zans and he made Kiddush. Zans, picked up people's thoughts so easy. So suddenly he turned around to him and he could see his conflict. What's going on here? So he says, Mama's Holy Zans that put his hand on the shoulder of him and it says, young man, let me tell you something. Some people walk into the palace of the king and they're so blinded by the first room, they don't go further. And some people are looking for more light, go to the second room. But then some people are looking for the king himself. They're not looking for light, they're looking for the king. And he says, during the week, we're looking for light. On Shabbos, we're looking for the king himself. And the holy Rabbi was his name. One of the biggest later on in the world. Until he died when he was maybe 82. It was Shabbos Bullock, that's a holy, was Zans the first time Shabbos. The Holy Son put his holy hand on his shoulder. He would always assemble all his children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and he would say, you see this shoulder? The Holy Son put his hand on my shoulder, and everybody would kiss his shoulder to get a little taste of the Holy Son. There is one big tshuva from him, very, very deep tshuva. So he wrote it already after the Holy Son had left the world. And while he wrote it, it's a long thing about Birchas Torah, he fell asleep, and in his dreams he saw that the Holy Son came in and looked over his shoulder and read everything he wrote. And he says, you're 100% right. Nobody will come. So in the book it's printed, he writes at the end, P.S. I want you to know, my Rabbi, the Holy Son came to me in a dream. So you see, like, it's hard to know, like,